Carl Jung's concept of the collective unconscious stands as psychology's most contentious topic. This theory posits a shared psychic realm among all humans, a reservoir of instincts and memories. While some dismiss it as pseudoscience, others find it a compelling framework for understanding human thought and behavior. This raises key questions. What is the true nature of the collective unconscious, and what are its implications for our understanding of human behavior? What is the collective unconscious, and how does it work? Most people understand the unconscious mind as the part of our mind holding thoughts, memories, and impulses we aren't aware of. However, fewer are familiar with the collective unconscious, a concept introduced by renowned psychologist Carl Jung. Transmitted through brain structures, the collective unconscious is considered the psyche's deepest layer. This mysterious psychological phenomenon manifests through archetypes, which are patterns of behavior that activate in specific situations. Within this deep layer reside not only dormant archaic forms of human existence, but also remnants from our animal ancestors. Jung believed the collective unconscious was the origin of all myths and legends, seeing these stories not as mere imagination, but as its direct expressions. Carl Jung proposed the collective unconscious as a vast universal pool of knowledge available to everyone. He believed we are inherently linked to this reservoir, able to access it when necessary, yet certain people possess a heightened connection, enabling these psychically gifted and creative geniuses to harness its power for extraordinary accomplishments. The concept of archetypes. The unconscious holds the foundational forces that drive the soul. These forces are regulated by archetypes, which are the forms or categories that organize them. Jung links archetypes to Plato's ideal forms, describing them as a matrix, a predisposition to think and feel in specific ways. Archetypes encompass not only our ways of knowing, but also our patterns of feeling, responding, and behaving. They cover all aspects of our mental life, from basic bodily instincts to complex spiritual expressions. External psychological conditions, such as dangerous situations, give rise to emotions and affective fantasies. Since such situations are common, they form archetypes, which are reflected in myths and art. In addition, ordinary and ever-repeating realities of human life create powerful archetypal figures, mother, father, hero, and so on. The criticism of Jung's theory. Jung's theory of the collective unconscious has been criticized on several fronts. However, the main problem of Jung's theory is the use of biological and sometimes even mystical explanations of human existence. Religion and myths always seem to Jung something closely connected with the human psyche, part of the collective unconscious. Perhaps due to this reason, the theory was not accepted by the scientists' colleagues. In their opinion, this is nothing more than an attempt to justify antisocial behavior. No experiments have proved the existence of the collective unconscious, and all of Jung's arguments are based on subjective observations. In addition, many scientists consider that the idea of the collective unconscious is too vague and contradictory. For example, if the contents of the collective unconscious are inherited, why do we see such a great variety of religious beliefs and myths worldwide? Critics also argue that the theory is too deterministic. According to Jung, our behavior and thoughts are predetermined by the collective unconscious archetypes, which greatly limits our freedom of choice. Is there any evidence that the collective unconscious exists? The concept of a collective unconscious lacks scientific proof. Nevertheless, its existence is supported by various observations and theories. Some scientists hypothesize that the collective unconscious influences human behavior. Studies indicate that people often conform to social norms and act according to the expectations of others. This conformity might stem from a desire to align with the collective unconscious, thereby fostering a sense of acceptance and belonging. Some research also suggests that children possess innate knowledge and skills unexplainable by their life experiences. This could be interpreted as evidence for a collective unconscious. Despite the lack of scientific proof, the theory of the collective unconscious remains a popular concept in psychology and continues to be studied by researchers. The collective unconscious in our everyday lives. The existence of the collective unconscious is still debated, but it presents several potential ways to improve our lives. Collective unconscious provides a powerful framework for understanding human behavior, both individually and collectively. Grasping this concept can empower us to resist conformity and cultivate independent thought. Furthermore, the theory helps explain common, yet mysterious occurrences such as déjà vu experiences, flashes of intuition, and moments of profound creative inspiration. The concept of the collective unconscious also appears in two real-world scenarios. First, it emerges within an association of people. Here, a dispersed group can unite into a cohesive whole, driven by shared emotional states or ideas. This phenomenon is often observed at events like political rallies or religious gatherings.